there, but we'll definitely swap over to our new chainmail. And that puts us in a very nice spot defensively overall here, as well as being a good prospect for the future. We'll probably, if given the opportunity, still swap out for, what am I thinking about? Gold Dragon Scales. But barring that, there's not a heck of a lot else that I would rather take into the future, so that is just beautiful. Let's get ourselves into a corner so that the Guardian Serpent can't do too much work on us. Fantastic. And we'll keep abusing boomerangs to our heart's content. And, well, would you look at that? See Invisible does end up playing a role here. Just against a little baby Naga who decided to get a little sneaky with things. Fantastic. And that should be, I was going to say most of the enemies, seeing as how we hit an alarm trap right next to the end of the zone. But hey, I guess turns out there's still some contenders left to deal with here. Ah. Well, that's very interesting. I think that's going to be a potion of flight from me. And just get out here temporarily and see how many of these sons of guns we can deal with. I don't like the Shock Serpent, so I'm actually just going to take my flying, get the heck out of dodge temporarily here. Oh, what do we wish to do here? We have Brothers in Arms available to us if we so desire, I guess. If not for the Shock Serpents, we're actually in a pretty beautiful spot overall. So I guess even if we just try to bait out our new friends slowly but surely here, we'll probably end up in a half-decent spot. Guardian Serpents, of course, always going to be a potential trouble spot for us here, seeing as how they can very quickly change the tides. But it's not the end of the world. And we'll otherwise just let our friends come to us. That should be perfect. And if I can murder the Shock Serpent fast enough, which does seem to be the case, beautiful, then we should be in an even better spot at the end of the day. Fantastic. Fortunately, Mana Vipers are not a concern whatsoever, seeing as how we don't exactly use magic power for anything on this character, so that's, you know, one of the many small advantages of following Trog. And there we go, we get our first rune of the run here. Slightly terrifying, but nothing we couldn't handle. And I guess otherwise, we're pretty much ready to go to Shoals. I'm going to take a quick look. Do believe I dropped a Ring of Flight somewhere. Again, I generally prefer potions of flight, seeing as how they are a bit easier to use, don't take up a ring slot, pretty instant. But if we're going into somewhere like Shoals, it is just maybe the exception to that rule, and we start to be able to take advantage of some pseudo-permanent flight. Again, I have to decide on what the heck we drop. Could temporarily drop silver boomerangs. We would be trying to pick them back up in the future. That's not bad. Protection from cold. I guess we don't need protection from cold constantly here. We at least have one pip naturally, so that's something. And we'll probably be taking off the Ring of Protection for flight here. And see how that goes. Into Shoals we go. Fantastic. See how many Javelineers we get. We end up finding ourselves in a bit of a weird spot on this sort of character. Because normally, I'm hoping for a severe lack of Javelineers. And I still kind of am. Javelineers will be terrifying, seeing as how we have to close the distance to them in order to start punching back, as it were. The flip side of that, of course, is that they will provide us a nice bounty of javelins to make use of in the future. So in that sense, they are kind of what we're hoping for at the end of the day here. I guess I should check what type of trident you have before fighting. Could have been a nasty early one-way trip to the abyss, but no dice for our new friends, fortunately for us. Bookstore is very unlikely to have what we're looking for. If this son of a gun keeps running, we will swap over to... Never mind. Swap over to our ranged combat, our throw-in, but turns out this is exactly the type of shop that we'd be hoping for. Manual of Evocations is right there. I also just remembered Condenser Vein. We just got a bunch of money from acquirement scrolls, so let's grab that bad boy before I forget here, because that could definitely save our bacon in one way or another as we continue forward. Ringer Protection, as nice as it is in theory, we're at least doing okay on the AC department, and we'll only get better from here. So we'll drop that bad boy for the time being. Let's see how we continue getting on here, shall we? Amulet of Reflection is not going to do it. Oh, McGlottal. Hello, my friend. 140 health on that bad boy, huh? Let's phone in some friends. I don't know if Vile Floods actually does much against you, my friend. Regardless, we'll throw that bad boy out there, and fantastic. Even a relatively scary unique is not the end of the world here. And we'll just charge in on our new fawn friends, seeing as how Reflection does a decent amount of the heavy lifting for us in these encounters. Satyrs, a little bit in the same boat, but can also be just absolutely terrifying with the amount of damage output they have, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that as we continue forward into shoals here. I'm tempted not to let my character explore the far reaches. It's not often you get a Kraken in Lore 1, but it's definitely happened before. Why, hello there. Polyphemus. Let's just step back. You'll get petrified by your own buddy. I'm so sorry. Sucks to see it happen. And let's pop down this stairwell. In fact, taking a couple Deathiacs up with us sounds fantastic. And we can keep kind of dodging between steps. Maybe less so with that Windrake around, so definitely got me rewiring my brain there pretty dang quickly, but nothing we can't handle if we just head to a different stairwell and see how things are going on this side of the equation. Fantastic. We're definitely able to murder things relatively quickly. We're on a pretty dang strong character suddenly here, so definitely love to see that. If I could get some reflections against our centaur friend, that would go a long way. Well, or we can only get them after we've already settled most of the problems on our own. That's fine too, I guess. And let's just murder our new friend here. Pop upstairs for a quick little bit of healing, and then we can get right back into the mix. Oh my gosh, another named unique. Holy moly. Shoals is not kidding around today. See, I could get some clouds up right away here. I'm tempted to just fight this one out. Let's put up ice clouds. That works for me. Get Box of Beasts going as well. That should be fantastic. And I'm hoping to get Osui stepping forward here. Fantastic. And there we go. Oh, Louise. I did not even see you there, my friend. Well, with Trog's Hand, you should have no chance of banishing me at least, so that's nice. And then otherwise, we'll just let you come walking our way. Okie dokie. Well, we just took out a pretty wild selection of enemies there. Unfortunately, no great loot on any of them, or at least nothing that's going to break the bank here. Let's stop auto-explore from its deep water shenanigans before we find ourselves a little bit out of our depth. Double check that this is not a trip to the abyss trident in the hands of our merfolk friends. Seems to be alright though, so we'll just keep on keeping on. And try to clear through the rest of Shoals too. I can't imagine there's going to be a heck of a lot more to deal with, at least relative to what we've already dealt with. That's, what, 3 uniques on this floor? McGlottal was above. It's been a wild ride, to say the least. Let's hope that that just means we got most of the tricky work out of the way here and can maybe, just maybe, have smooth sailing over the rest of Shoals here. My brain gets confused by the wonderful drop every time in this song. Can't help but tap along to it. And okie doke, so we've hit our skill caps that we set here. So where the heck do we want to go next? I mean, throwing, I guess, could always see better days. Keep that trucking along here. A bit more armor skill might not hurt. Just get some better defensive capabilities. Otherwise, I'm just pretty happy, I guess, fighting. It's what's given us the Brawler title already here. Which is a half-decent title. Definitely is it's accurate. Also, that's not even true. That's unarmed combat that's giving us that. Torinski, you fool. Already forgetting what it is we do here. But okay, let's take care of the mesmerizer there, and otherwise should be in a half decent spot. You know what? Fine. I will not let Barbara hurt us as we walk. Fantastic. And that should be enough of the floor for me to move on. Beautiful. So let's see. Still just Shoals 3, so we still have a bit of a journey left to go here. Hello, my satyr friend. I see we are at a bit of an impasse. Actually, maybe the bush is in your way, but not in mine, now that I'm seeing that a bit more clearly. Well, I'll take it. That's just beautiful. Demon Trident of Electrocution, hey? Right, I guess I'm so used to TSO runs and not being able to use demon weaponry that I kind of forget how incredible those can be. I also just kind of realized that we went through all of those unique fights a bit ago. And what we probably wanted to do, or could have done rather, is use some of our many torment scrolls to make life a wee bit easier. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess we did just fine, so obviously they weren't strictly necessary, but it's definitely something I'd like to keep in mind moving forward. Seeing as how that's one of the big advantages of playing an undead creature here, is that we can use Torment to do some pretty awesome shenanigans. As we move forward, let's bring in a Troll Berserker here to help us out. Clean up the mess here, fantastic. The Diggs Mass Market, mostly just giant clubs. I can see that you definitely are the one-stop shop for all of Polyphemus's needs. Very thematically fitting at the very least. And okie dokie, that's once again most of the floor here that we're going to bother exploring. I'm not going to worry too much about finding any new Kraken friends. Oh, actually, I see some shallows down this way, so let's potentially take a peek over yonder and see how things are looking. It's partially due to only seeing 2 real downstairs on the upper aisles. Definitely clued me into the fact that there's a little bit more than meets the eye, as it were. Some islands in disguise. Fantastic. And now for real, we're just about done. Oops, let's not fly directly into the Zot trap. Thank you, game. We'll take a quick peek over this direction here. Fantastic. Potions of magic. Blacky. And on to Shoals 4. We are definitely making half decent time through our S branches here. Just absolutely blitzing by. You know what? Let's take these new friends of ours around the corner here. Seeing as how we'll definitely be seeing some new faces as we open up the floodgates here. Fantastic. I was about to say, I can't imagine this amulet is better than what we currently have on, and that is indeed the case. But let's definitely pop in here and let the Javelineer come to us. Fantastic. Only one silver javelin? Come on, game. You can do better than that, please. Please and thank you. But okie dokie. Otherwise, we'll just keep going. Holy moly, that's quite the shop. Plate armor of the dragon fruit. It's interesting. Minus Telly is probably a bit too much for me to contend with here. But fire resistance and corrosion, it's close. That almost got me going. Making good time blitzing by are very convincing words one would say before death by hubris. Oh, you know me too well. Let's do our best to not succumb to such a fate, though of course can never really make any promises. We'll see how the rest of Shoals goes. All it takes is a few poorly timed enemy appearances here, and things will definitely take a bit of a turn. But alas, such is just life, so let's see if we can't prevent any major issues, shall we? Ooh. Getting an Iron Troll is definitely a beautiful start for us here. We can hope that our enemies keep filling up the one spot gap. Or not, but that is just fine too. Let's see how an Iron Troll does against the might of the ocean, shall we? The answer? Not too bad. Oh gosh. Then I'm suddenly taking a bit more damage than I would like. Let's bring in another friendly face or two. What was that? We were just saying about hubris. Let's get a bit of healing in, and then I should step up to the plate as well, because if we can just murder these sons of guns post haste. I'm tempted to risk it, but let's play it safe here, and I'm actually going to quaff another heal wounds. We're just jumping into the mix, and let's take a step back from the situation here, shall we? Fantastic. I believe it sounds like we're too strong to be killed by hubris. Fortunately, we're not quite at that step yet. Definitely last run. If we're talking about Grunter the second, then 100%. There were moments in that run where I was very much of the belief that we were too strong for any fate to befall us. And hopefully we end up in the same spot here with Troglodyte, but there are no guarantees by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, interesting. Wonder what that potion could possibly, what kind of secrets that could hold. We could, of course, get out of here, seeing as how we did actually pick up, oh, if I could hit the right keys. We picked up our second rune of the run here. The Barnacled rune is under our belt. But there's still a bit of treasure to be found, I feel, especially if we're close enough to steps to walk away, then that's no problem. And speaking of treasure, Phantom Mirror for your troubles. You want regular poison darts, no longer on the list here, so let's drop those bad boys. Protection from Fire Ring, we actually are probably fine without as well. As for this potion, Wand of Flame, we were kind of saving 4 shoals, and now we're pretty much done the area without having used it whatsoever. So with that in mind, we'll probably drop that bad boy. Another Phantom Mirror. How about that? As long as we don't find another little shell zone here with 3 or more Javelineers, I think we'll be okay. And yes, that's definitely manageable. I should have double-checked these buddies. Okay, Venom and Flaming, neither of which is a deal breaker, so that's beautiful. And if we didn't already have all these evocables, this would have been the spot to grab them for sure. Holy moly. Let's also try to just take care of the Avatar from afar here. Our only mission in life is to kill the Avatar. Fantastic. And beautiful. Oh. Hello, Barbara. Well, Barb's not exactly ideal. Let's maybe bone in a couple of friends. And once again, if our enemies can just keep stepping up, that would be ideal. Or not. But hey, lasts just long enough for the Barbs to leave our sight, and we can get back out of here. This DCSS run brought to you by the Flame Emperor. You know how it is. Only way to bring back my honor. But okie dokie. I think that should just about do it here. We could find a little bit more to explore. I'm very much on the fence here as to whether it's worth the risk or if I should just get the heck out of Dodge. Shoals is always kind of putting me into that unsure zone. Let's see, if we pop around here, I guess worst comes to worst, we can read a teleport and most of the floor is explored. So we should be okay. No, we can't see that place, but we saw a shadow. There we go. Another Trident of Protection. Okay, that's definitely nothing we can't handle here. Fantastic. And this time for real, I think that just about does the trick. So let's get the heck out of Dodge, shall we? Fantastic. Okie dokie. Well, shoals can be absolutely terrifying, but not the end of the world for us here. So many uniques, a decent number of tricky enemies, less javelins than I would like. I was hoping to gain a surplus of those bad boys while we were down there, but hey. It is what it is, and so we'll just keep on keeping on here. Does teleport have a chance to put us on deep water tile if we have flight? That's an interesting question. I have 8 teleport scrolls. Let's try once, see what happens. Well, would you look at that? Mystery solved. Yes, it turns out, if you have flight, teleport can put you on deep water tiles. So how about that? Definitely gives you a lot of extra area that you could land if you teleported. Also slightly terrifying because it means you could just get placed right next to a kraken in the middle of deep water. And that's a pretty quick way to go. Yeah, Mercury also mentioned, means it's quite scary to teleport shoals when you think there may be a kraken somewhere. Exactly. Gray minds think alike. Okie doke, so where do we wish to go from here? Normally, I guess we'd head vaults direction. I don't know, did we actually clear out layer 5? It's not too bad for us to go walking around here. The one kind of nasty part about it is that Trog will very quickly lose interest, so we end up missing out on some piety by just kicking our feet and wandering about, but still worth it to check out real quick. I guess I could have done it with map exploration in the Shift X menu, but let's not worry about that. And yeah, I guess vaults it is. I'm pretty happy with where this character is at defensively. We have decent resistances. Our Lek is looking a bit underdeveloped, shall we say. Willpower looks bad, but we also know that we have Trog's hands, so that's kind of playing into that side of things. all in all, should not be the end of the world here. Let's head to our vault's entrance, and down we go, shall we? Oh no, not my undead brethren. How dare you make me fight my friends? Speaking of friends, let's get a couple on duty here. Fantastic. Slightly worse for wear than I was expecting from that encounter, but not the end of the world. Let's also just step away from our elephant friends here. At least make them go through the one wide doorway, so we get a little bit of time with just each of them individually. Fantastic. Oh right, against you, I guess. Kind of wanted Trog's hand. Feels like a little bit of a waste, but at the very least they are considered magic users, so we can make Trog a happy camper with that in mind. And the rest of the regular troll pack shouldn't be too bad. With 32 AC, we're in a pretty good spot in that regard. And we can definitely, yeah, just leave our Shadow Statue friend alone for a bit. Thunder Hulk showing up in a tiny contained corridor is just lovely. Definitely what you want to see when we're lacking in that resistance. And let's see what else we come across, shall we? Ooh, Entropy Weaver. Not too bad when you're on your own. Immediately get hit by the Mark Trap, right? This we should have been well aware of. Whoopsie daisies. Hey, Jossie, how's it going? Nothing too much on my end. So far, just the run and the skulls of our enemies are cracking. So can't complain too much here. Let's start blasting our Frostheart friend from beyond here. Oh, I'm still marked. That's it for our lightning rod, but there we go. Did just enough damage to clean up shop there.